You guys are having a great day. I know for a fact that I am. Uh, but yeah, I guess we're just gonna be chilling today, just thinking about a fun little idea while I build a little bit. Um, I just thought of a couple of top 10 ideas that I thought I would discuss because I don't know. I'm very interested in like those Watch Mojo type top 10 videos, I guess, and I don't know. I guess I wanted to explain my opinion on top 10 things that I like or dislike, I guess. And yeah, if you want to see a different top 10, just let me know because I would be down. Um, anyways, what I would like to do for this top 10 is I would like to do my top 10 favorite rides at Walt Disney World. I tried doing this before, but for some reason the video did not work, I guess. So yeah, I'm just gonna make a top 10, I guess, just explaining my top 10 favorite rides at both Walt Disney World and yeah, just Walt Disney World. So yeah, actually I think I made a top 10 list on my phone. Let me check where. Okay, here we go. So I have some honorable mentions, I guess, before I get into the top 10. First of them being the Three Caballeros, which is a fantastic ride. Keep in mind, even all these honorable mentions I'm explaining are top 10. Like, not top 10, but like 10 out of 10 rides. I believe that all these rides are perfection, and they can't be changed. I'm a huge Disney fan, so I just wanted to share my opinions on some of the things about my favorite place in the entire world. So yeah, I would say Three Caballeros isn't one of the honorable mentions because even though this ride is pretty much perfect in every way, I love it to death. One of my favorite rides of all time. There's just 10 other rides that I like more than that. And I had Soarin' Around the World at number 12. I know, Soarin', fantastic ride. It barely missed the mark of being on the top 10, sadly. Because, once again, there were just 10 other rides I like more. And on that same coin, there's actually another ride that would be an honorable mention for me. And that ride is the Hollywood Tower Hotel Tower of Terror. Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, yeah, there we go. That's what it's called. That's also an honorable mention. Once again, another fantastic ride. That would have been number 13, but yeah. There's just 10 rides I like more than that one. And yeah, oh, looks like we have a viewer. Hello. So, I guess with, what would I consider my number 10? I don't know. I mean, I gotta say that The Living Seas with Nemo is probably my number 10. I know. Children's ride about fish. Yeah. Boring concept, I'm aware. I grew up with that movie. It came out when I was really young, so I grew up with the movie, and it just has a special place in my heart because of that. And also, my aunt got married at Walt Disney World, believe it or not, and her reception was at the special venue that you can barely get to. That's on the backside of the Living Seas Pavilion, which is the Nemo ride. So that's pretty cool. So I got like a backstage look of the aquarium and stuff. It was really, really cool. And yeah, for that reason, the Living Seas with Nemo and Friends is my number 10. And number 9 is a ride that I sadly can't go on next time I'm there because I'm going to be not going to Animal Kingdom this year, sadly. And that ride is Dinosaur. Yep, Dinosaur is number 9 for me. See, I used to hate this ride when I was younger. Like, the first time I went to Animal Kingdom, I rode on it. Absolutely hated it. But then again, growing up, I was a scaredy cat. Let me just say that. I hated Expedition Everest. I hated the Tower of Terror. I hated Rock and Roller Coaster. I didn't like roller coasters when I was a kid. Not at all. So I absolutely, and I hated thrill rides in general. So when I saw that there was a ride with Carnotauruses and other scary dinosaurs, I was just like, hell no, that ride is not for me. And I rode on it again for the first time in forever in 2018, last time I was there, and I actually enjoyed it. I know the movie Dinosaur is absolute trash, I've seen it, so I thought the ride was probably going to be garbage as well, but no, it actually exceeded my expectations. I liked the concept of the ride. It was executed the best it could be. I just wish the movie was executed just as well as the ride was, but sadly, that's not the case. Also, a little side note, the Indiana Jones version of that ride is much better. Sorry that you didn't hear that from me, but yeah, that's just my opinion. But yeah, I still liked it regardless. I like the ride vehicles and everything. Still a really cool ride. Number 8. Oh, number 8. Okay, I'm gonna say this multiple times throughout this video. I have a soft spot for number 8 as well. You see, number 8 is Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. You see, growing up, I've always ridden on merry-go-rounds. You see, my home theme park actually has a 2-story one, so like every time I went there, we would ride on that at the end of the day. And Carousel of Progress happens to be my favorite ride at Walt Disney World, so. And I am actually very similar to my grandpa, so. That ride just was pretty cool to me, I guess, and yeah. Oops, looks like I got a... Oh my gosh. My brother just texted me about a debate that's going on. Sorry. What was I talking about? Oh, that's right. Carousel of Progress. Favorite carousel of all time. The tune of it, like the main theme, fantastic. Probably one of the catchiest tunes I've ever seen. Yeah, so yeah, the Carousel of Progress is just a very, very cool, carousel to me. Sorry, I'm multitasking. Okay, number 7 is a ride I've only been on one time, and that's because it's a little more on the recent side, that ride being Slinky Dog Dash. Now, I know you're saying that ride is stupid. It's a kiddie coaster, which I won't argue it. Yeah, it is a kiddie coaster. And yes, I have it higher than both a Rock and Roller Coaster and Expedition Everest. Not because I don't like those rides. I do. They're both fantastic rides. Just Slinky Dog Dash is on the list because of the theming. You see, Midway Mania I don't really like because I'm not really into the whole Buzz Lightyear Astro Blaster type mini game, I guess. But a Slinky Dog Dash does great. It is a roller coaster. And yet you still feel like you're smaller than Woody, smaller than Wheezy, who actually sings at the end of the ride, which is awesome. And the launch on the ride is probably my favorite launch I've seen because it feels like you're on a Slinky. Like you stay there, but then you like launch back and there's like a sound effect with it. Like you're on a Slinky that's about to, expand because, or it's about to come together because what happens with Slinkies is to expand them, they're gonna launch inwards and do it back to its normal formation. So yeah. For those reasons, I thought that ride was awesome, and last time I went was before Galaxy's Edge was open, so there was still construction there. I was able to see the construction from the ride. It was very cool. So that is why that ride is number 7. Number 6 for me is Avatar: Flight of Passage. Once again, only been actually no, I've been on this ride 3 times when I went last time I went to Disney World. Yeah, 3 times. And this ride is just out of this world. Amazing. If you haven't ridden on it, I recommend it. So yeah, most of the rides that I have on this list are here because of nostalgic reasons. This one's here for the sole purpose of, wow, this ride is groundbreaking. And it's above Soarin' because Soarin' is like, you know, it's the same type of thing where it's a simulation. You're flying through the skies or whatever. And you smell the scents, stuff like that. But this ride cranks it up a notch. And the queue of the ride, the queue has amazing animatronic of like, what's it called? An avatar in like the holding cell or whatever. Like when you awaken it for the first time. Then there's also like, you find out that you can make your own avatars. You go through this whole process of getting your own avatar, and it's really cool. And then the actual ride, your avatar rides on a Banshee. And it's cool because you have a Banshee thing, and the ride just, mechanically, if you look down, you can see the ride. It feels just cool and satisfying at the same time. So, for that reason in particular, Avatar: Flight of Passage is my number 6. Now, the rest of these are solely pretty much for nostalgic reasons, and nostalgia just made me love these rides, except for number 1. I have many reasons for why number 1 is number 1, and number 2, I guess, but yeah. Number 5, don't hate me on this, I know, this is above Tower of Terror, this is above Rock and Roller Coaster. Number 5 for me, personally, is Living with the Land. Yes. The ride about plants is my 5th favorite ride at Disney. I know, you probably think I'm crazy, which, yeah, I probably am. But this ride, one of the things I love about theme park rides, especially the Disney ones, is that they have some rides that are very long. Like, very, very long. And this happens to be one of those rides. Like, this ride is like 15 minutes long-ish. And you get like a backstage tour of Epcot. And keep in mind, I like backstage tours of things, so that you'll see that coming up too. And it's very cool to see like their futuristic ways of farming that they're trying to develop. It's very interesting to me. And on top of that, there's also a mix of dark ride elements in the ride. At the very beginning, they have show scenes with animatronics and stuff. And you get to see animatronics from a Disney ride that was never built, called the Frontier River Expedition, something like that, which inspired Big Thunder Mountain. They had Buffalo on that ride, and the animatronics from that ride that were actually built are on Living with the Land. And on top of that, the person who does the narration for this ride also does the narration for my number 2 on this list. And also, this ride never has a line. I've never been on this ride where it has a line. Or if it does, it was at most 10 minutes. No one really goes on this ride because it's a ride about plants. So no one cares about this ride. Except for me, of course. I love this ride. And for those reasons, and also for the fact that it's a nice time to relax on the busy trip that you have at Disney World. That is why this ride, Living with the Land, is number 5 for me. Oops. Oh no! I dropped my controller and I accidentally hit that. Okay. Number 4. I must say, my number 4 is Test Track. If you asked me what my favorite ride was 2 years ago, I would say Test Track. Ever since I was little, my favorite ride was Test Track. Test Track. But that recently got passed up by 3 other rides. And yeah, I gotta say, this ride, once again, pure perfection to me. When I first time I rode on it, it was back when it was the old version of Test Track, where you had to, like, be a testing dummy, I guess, and do, like, the crash courses for cars, which was a very interesting concept, to say the least. But then I remember, I went to Epcot, like, right after the updated version of the ride opened. I was in awe. You see, growing up, I was obsessed with cars. I Me and my friend always used to do like races with our little NASCARs that we had, play with our little Hot Wheels cars that we had. So I always still do, which is why I play games like GTA 5 because I do it for the cars. I just love cars. So yeah. And I loved the idea of in the new version that you got to make your own car. And also you get to see futuristic concepts of cars on the ride. Plus the theme of the ride is just amazing, out of this world amazing. And also one of my favorite Disney movies growing up that I saw with my friend that I played NASCARs with was Tron Legacy. And Tron Legacy was also one of my favorite movies, like I said, and it literally the ride looked like Tron. And I loved that whole thing about it. Also, I just love the speed of it. It's a really fast ride. So it gets your adrenaline pumping a lot. And for those reasons, that's why that ride is at number 4 for me. It used to be number 1, but it was passed up by 3 other rides. With that being said, my number 3 is what can I think of the name? My number 3 is the Spaceship Earth. Spaceship Earth is my number 3. And that is this. See, I like a lot of Epcot dark rides. I really do. Epcot is my favorite park of Walt Disney World. So that's why a lot of these rides on this list are but yeah, Spaceship Earth is my favorite ride from Epcot now. You Space Mountain. That's true. It's my favorite, but then after riding it the last time I was there in 2018, I really started to dig Spaceship Earth a lot more. And yeah, it's very cool looking. The outside looks like a giant golf ball. It's just a giant geodescent sphere with, and the way they light it up at nighttime looks very cool. It's just this cool ride. I love if you did dark ride. This is why I absolutely love it. And that for that reason, it's just a ride. And Flight of used to put all around the scene of the Library of Alexandria burning down. And I don't know. I always love the smell of like fires and like just the burning smell for some reason. So just smelling that scent, it just smelled really good to me. Which is another reason why I like the ride. And also just love like I said, it's the whole theme, the ride, or just I just love it. It puts a smile on my face. And it's funny because communication way up to like the 80s, and like the last time I got updated, I was like, oh, I love that ride. And yeah, Spaceship Earth. The best part though is the descent, or the moments before and the moments during the descent back down. Right before they get the last thing you see is this epic view of Earth space, and it just looks so cool the way that they. After that is the descent, which is the part that made it I forgot that part existed. The way it works is you sit, like they spin your Omnimover car backwards, and you descend backwards like you're leaning. And it feels a weird sensation, but it's cool. I don't know any other ride, personally, that I've been on that has done that. And on top of that, they have like this really cool optic illusion when you go down with like these weird floating dots. It's weird to describe unless you went on the ride. Yeah, it's a very, very weird part of the ride. Very cool to me. And while you're doing that, they have this interactive game where you make your own future, decide how you want your future to look. And it's a very fun idea, and I'm always very pleased with how my future turns out, I guess. Because, I try to make a very positive, bright future for myself. And I like how that ride has a similar concept of Carousel of Progress, where they want you to have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow shining at the end of today, so. Yeah, that ride just brings me a lot of joy. Plus, it's one of the first rides I've ever been on at Disney World, so it has a lot of sentimental value for that as well. That is why that is at number 3. Number 1 are very close for me. These both are located at Magic Kingdom, and I believe both of these rides are the two greatest rides in existence at any theme park. Two greatest rides at any land. This land in general is my favorite land of any theme park. That land being Tomorrowland. Yep, these last two rides are at Tomorrowland. And that is because my number 2 is the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover. I know. Very interesting pick to say the least. I know. But it is an amazing ride. Oh my gosh, one of the best rides I have ever ridden in my life, for sure. Pretty much, I have memories from when I was younger. I hated the Stitch ride, Stitch's Great Escape. I absolutely hated it. My brother loved it, so my dad always took my brother on that ride. My mom always took me on the People Mover. So I had this relationship with the ride ever since I was younger that I don't know. I always liked it because I didn't have to go on Stitch. But like I said with Living with the Land, I like backstage tour rides, and this ride is a backstage tour of Tomorrowland, which is, well, like I said, my favorite land in all of Disney World. And on top of that, just I love the music Tomorrowland has. I listen to it pretty much on the daily. And the theme, and like they play the themes on the ride, which is really cool. And also something else I love nowadays is I watch like Disney history videos, like Disney theme park history videos. And one of those things in Disney theme park history is the original Epcot. Epcot wasn't planned to be a theme park with a giant globe at the beginning. Epcot stands for Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. And does the theme park look like an experimental prototype community? No, it's a theme park. The reason why it got its name is because, and also the reason why Walt Disney bought so much land in Florida, it's because he wanted to actually build a futuristic looking city that people would actually live in and sell things at. That's what Epcot was going to be, and it was going to have this very tall skyscraper in the center of the city as like the icon of it. But obviously after Walt Disney died, the Walt Disney Company didn't think that was the best idea to do. But that model of that original Epcot is found on the People Mover, which is my favorite ride. It's such a cool thing, I guess. And on top of that, you get to see like different robots and show scenes. I'm pretty sure you get to see something from Journey into Imagination on the ride at one point. There's references to Flight to the Moon, which is another extinct Disney attraction. Like I said, I love Disney history, so this ride is littered with it. On top of that, you get to go inside of rides like Space Mountain. You get to go past the Carousel of Progress, where they get to explain a little bit about that. Very, very cool. Very cool for sure. And another cool thing is, like I mentioned earlier, there's another ride where the narrator from Living with the Land takes place. That's the same narrator on this ride. The narrator of Living with the Land narrates the People Mover, which is awesome. I like the continuity with that, which is very cool to me. And for all those reasons, the People Mover is my second favorite ride of all time, and also my second favorite ride at Walt Disney World. But what ride from Tomorrowland is my number 1? Is it the Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor? Is it the Astro Orbiter? Is it the Tomorrowland Speedway? No. It's Space Mountain. I mean, when you think of Tomorrowland, what ride do you think of? I mean, it should be Space Mountain. It originally was not my favorite ride at Walt Disney World. Actually, it used to be my third favorite. My favorite was Test Track for the longest time. Second favorite was Splash Mountain. The reason why that's not on this list is because it's closing, so I didn't think that was the best idea to put it on here. And then my third was always Space Mountain. But now, it passed up all of those rides because I came to, like I said, I came to appreciate like 80s era Disney. I know this ride was made in 1977. It's close enough to the 80s. Pretty much the late 70s and early 80s are the exact same. Not that many differences. Sure, maybe there was an oil crisis at some point in the 70s, but we'll forget about that. But, but yeah, Space Mountain is like the pinnacle of what a theme park should be to me. It has dark ride elements while also being a thrilling roller coaster. First of all, let me just say the structure of the building, absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I literally built it in Minecraft. It's a gorgeous looking building, for sure. And it is just, I don't know. I listened to, and like, as soon as you go in the ride, it's the most relaxing experience I've ever had at a theme park, because on a hot summer Florida day, it's always muggy there, and gross. So all the chances you can to get air conditioning, you'll take it, trust me. And I think the best experience of that is on Space Mountain. They blast it the most in there because it feels like the cold, dead space that is, well, space. On top of that, as soon as you walk into the queue, the music that you hear in the queue is outstanding. I mean, this amazing orchestric, phonic music plays. And it's beautiful. That's all I have to say. It's very relaxing to it every single day. I listen to the music from Space Mountain every single day because it calms me down. It relaxes me while I do my schoolwork at college. It's very relaxing to me. And that is why, actually no, that is not the entire reason why it's my number one. On top of that, on the queue, it's even more relaxing because there's windows into space where you can just look in. They use a Pepper Ghost effect that they use in the Haunted Mansion, which also sadly didn't make it on the list. I'm personally not the biggest fan of the ride, but that's just me. I also may not have been stuck on the ride 2 hours, ties me a little bit. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, Space Mountain, they have the Pepper's Ghost effect, which is very cool. To show these retro space stations that you would see, like, they look like they came straight out of Star Wars or Star Trek. Very cool. And yeah, on top, they have, like, I think 3 tracks on the ride that I love listening to on a daily basis. Like, I listen to, like, a 4-hour constantly. But I don't like the ride just because of the queue. No. I love the ride vehicles. I love the whole 3-person rocket thing, I guess. I love that idea. And, besides that, what else do I like about it? Oh. I love, like, as soon as you get on the ride, it starts off with arguably the best part of the entire ride, which is not the Star Tunnel, that's a part of the queue. They start off with this weird, cool looking, like, looks like like you're going to hyperspace. It's like this tunnel with these bright blue flashing lights that get faster, and, like, the sounds get faster and faster, and the lights get faster, until you get to the end of the tunnel. And then next thing you know, you go up the lift hill, and the lift hill has space shuttles in it, and it has, like, astronaut stuff like that. It's like a dark ride, which, as I said, I love that era of Disney dark rides. And if Horizons was still around, I probably would put this on this list, but it doesn't exist anymore, sadly. So, and yeah, it's cool seeing the different astronauts and weird looking futuristic spaceships that go on when you go up the lift hill. And this ride, it's thrilling because even though it's not fast, it only goes like 30, something like that. It's pitch black. You see in front, so it appears that it actually is, and you just get to see stars, shooting stars, galaxies swirling around you, and the music it fits that role perfectly. And no, I as much as I love the soundtrack of the Disneyland version, I mean, I just love the ambiance of the Walt Disney World version a lot more, personally. Also, it's a lot bigger. There's 2 different tracks. We get the same experience, just reversed. And on top of that, right before the end of the ride, there's like a part where you go in a circle for a long time, and you just hear the swirl of a galaxy like right next to you, like the faster you go on the spin, which is really cool. And then, yeah, and then the ride ends, and that's not the end of it. No, 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 no. There's still more reasons why I like this ride. Because this ride, not only does it have an amazing queue, but it has an amazing exit queue as well. You walk out, and you look to the right, and you see a bunch of show scenes of the destinations that Starport 75, which is what Space Mountain is called, all the destinations that you can go from Starport 75. The first one, I think, like, there's an underwater scene with, like, a submarine. There's a Mars scene with a little rover. Like, right when you walk through that part, you hear the People Mover scene above you, and the scene of the People Mover that is played is the reference to Flight to the Moon, which is where Space Mountain is now. And, yeah. So that's very, very cool. And the best part between the two queues happens right after that. And you look to your right, and you see this little robot waiter, robot butler, with what looks like martinis in his on his tray in his hand. And you see a nice little couch, a nice little bar, and you see a lookout into what looks like Coruscant or some futuristic city. And that place was called Constellations, and that, my friends, is another reference to Horizons, which I said is a ride that is extinct that I wish I could have ridden on. And yeah, just the queue doesn't end there. There's like a couple more like really cool futuristic lights, and there's really cool looking painting. And they also have a really cool looking gift shop at the end. But yeah, for all those reasons, I would say Space Mountain is the best ride that I've ever ridden in my life and will ever ride in my life, because as I've gotten older, I've appreciated it more for what it is. And I just, in my eyes, that is just theme park perfection. And every time I'm in Magic Kingdom, especially at nighttime, I get to look over into Tomorrowland and see this giant white dome, and I just smile because I know that I'm at the place of pure perfection, aka my second home. And I must say, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it took a long time explaining those rides, but I'm a Disney super fan, and this topic was just very important to me. So, yeah, and this was important to note before my next time going to Disney World. And also another thing I like to add, like I said, Splash Mountain wasn't on here also, because it's closing down soon, so I didn't really worry about it. On top of that, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance isn't on there either, because I haven't been on it before, so... That, and also Mickey's Runaway Railway, haven't been on that ride either, so... Those rides will not be making an appearance on here. And yeah, if you guys did enjoy this, if you're watching this on Twitch, please follow. Or if you're on YouTube, please subscribe, like the video. Turn on notifications to see the next time I make a video. And yeah, peace.